Well, good morning and welcome back to the garden here in Neath, South Wales. Well, it's now mid-February and the weather's still cold here, but at least it's not raining today. And I've been looking around the garden and I've decided that I need to get a little bit of spring colour just to break up all this green. The garden has stayed really well this winter, but we've still got another 5 or 6 weeks to get through. But the one thing that I've noticed is missing is definitely some colour from the garden. So after work yesterday, I just called in and had a look to see what was on offer in the garden centre. So after work yesterday, I went out just to B&Q and just bought a few things just to put in the garden, just to remind me that spring is coming. I've had my eye on this little planter here for quite a few weeks, and I saw this in somebody else's trolley a few weeks ago and I decided, I've got to have that. So what I've done ready is just put a few crocks in the bottom just to stop the drainage hole from clogging up, and in that I'm going to put 3 plants of daffodils Dutch Master. I've just bought a pack of mixed daffodils just to put into the ground, and this one, I've never had these before. This is a hyacinth and it's a lovely sort of purple plum colour. And I thought that would be really nice, just in a little terracotta pot. So I'm going to crack on with that today. But first of all, I'm going to drink my cup of coffee. But I have given everything a good water before I get started. just want to add some of these daffodils into the borders, just to add a little bit of colour for the spring. The daffodil is the national flower of Wales, and on March the 1st it's St David's Day in Wales, which is the patron saint of Wales, and that's when we celebrate all of the Welsh culture. And one of the things that we have are daffodils. And when I was in school, when I was a young child, it was custom on March the 1st for the girls to wear a daffodil, and all the boys used to wear leeks. I think that still happens today. And it's nice to celebrate our heritage of where we all come from. I don't really water an awful lot now inside the greenhouse during the winter months. Just the plants that are actively growing. I've got this little dwarf palm tree here, and that's enjoying the protection of the greenhouse. So I give that a water every few weeks just to keep it ticking over. A small hebe, which I took from a cut-in. I've got some geraniums back there, but I keep them dry. And behind there I've got some colocasia pink china, so I also keep them dry. And underneath here are my cannas, and they are also dry. And my agapanthus, which I have got one flower on, I just give them a little bit of a water every few weeks, just to stop them from completely drying out. The Ioniums that I've got in the greenhouse, I'm quite surprised that these have done so well throughout the winter. I just give these a trickle of water every few weeks just to keep them going. But they are doing quite well. The little one over this side maybe not so well, but it's still alive. And I've also got two behind there, and they are doing really well too. Fingers crossed, last few weeks now of the winter to get through. Hopefully we've gone through the worst. I also want to have a little tidy up of some of these greenhouse drawers. You'd be surprised what you keep in them. Just look how messy they are. Why do I need to keep all this in here? So I think it's time to have a little bit of a sort out before the spring arrives. The drawers now have had a little bit of a tidy up. And what do I keep in them? Scissors, 2 pairs of secateurs, a marble that I found in the garden that I can't bring myself to throw out because it reminds me of my childhood, some green soft plant ties, some plant labels, some markers, a bag of wet wipes just for cleaning down the tops, the old opener which I keep safe in the greenhouse, and poo bags, because being the proud owner of 2 cats, you can never have enough poo bags for the garden. And if it hasn't rained for a few days, I just make sure to give the new loquat tree a good drink, as I don't want this to dry out as it's newly planted. I've also added a little bit more fleece around the bottom of this moussa, as I realised today when I was walking around the garden that I didn't quite fleece it to the bottom. So to make extra sure, I've just added another layer, and I've still got the yoghurt pot on the top, and I've got these on all my bananas just to protect them from any heavy rain in the winter months. Hopefully it'll work. It's quite a cold day today in the garden. It's only 2 degrees. But there is sign of life appearing. And spring won't be long. So that's everything watered now. And hopefully in a few weeks' time, these bulbs will reward me with some lovely blooms. And it is just starting. to come up there. So hopefully it won't be long. There's tiny buds appearing on the little pear tree. And we know then that spring is just around the corner. It won't be long. I'm still collecting my coffee pods to make my own homemade ericaceous compost, and in the space of a week I've collected quite a few of these. And all I'm doing is just opening them up. And it's surprising how much coffee you get inside one pod. And I'm going to add these to the ordinary compost, and when I get a good mix of it, I'm going to add it to my rhododendron, and I'm sure that they're going to love it. Look at all that coffee in there. Why waste something that you would normally put in the bin? And why spend more money than you need to these days? So let's just make my own. I've just taken off some of the top covering of the fleece for this tree fern today, just to give it a little bit of an airing, as it's not that cold, so I thought it'd appreciate a little bit of fresh air today. It's still looking quite green, and I'm quite surprised that they haven't browned off, but it's still early days yet. We've still got a few more weeks to get through. Fingers crossed. It's lovely to see some new growth coming on the Photinia. And you can just see there all of the red new growth appearing. It's Saturday today, and certainly not the brightest of days. But it stopped raining now for the moment. I've been having a little look around the garden today, and I think for spring plans I'll just add a few more trellises just for some height in the garden. I've got this Amandiae clematis here to grow up this trellis. But just looking around the garden to where the wildlife pond is, there seems to be a big gap there on the wall. So I think we'll just add some kind of trellis onto there and just get something climbing up that central area there. So I'll have to look for something that'll suit quite a shady spot in the garden, just to put against this wall. But then I've also got this old black metal gate, which I could use as a trellis, and this is just against the wall. So I could really move that down slightly and use that as a trellis. That would be quite a good idea. And now I'll just have a little look for some plants to suit the area. The old leaves of the Trachycarpus have finally fallen away, ready for the spring growth. And there's also now lots of buds showing on the forsythia in the garden. And this one is usually one of the first ones to flower in the springtime. And all the crocosmia bulbs are now pushing up through the ground, and hopefully they'll soon be showing some signs of flowering. And behind that now we have the daffodils. Thank you so much for joining me in the garden today. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.